Okay, so with the last kind of activity we went through, there was one conditional that was used. When we pushed the space bar, the bot kind of moved up the screen. In this case, we're adding two more layers of complexity. We have three conditional statements that we have to deal with and figure out how to respond to. So, as you saw in the last level, you can change the sprite's velocity with multiple if statements. In this program, the fish has three different types of movement, each of which should be controlled by its own if statement. So, you're going to look at the three if statements inside the draw loop, and then use a sprite.velocityX block inside each if statement to make the following three movements. If the user presses the right arrow key, move the fish to the right. If the fish gets to the right-hand side of the screen, move the fish to the left. If the fish gets to the left-hand side of the screen, stop the fish. So all of these if statements are already set up for you here. And they've even changed all the animations for you already as well. However, right now, nothing at all happens. I can push the right arrow and it's not going to move. And of course, it's not going to change and go to the left once it hits the right side because it's not moving to begin with. So this is where you have to put in these statements. As is noted in the instructions here, we need to put in three different velocity things. We need to put in one for when we push the right arrow. We need to put in one for where it gets to the right-hand side of the screen, and we need to put in another one when it gets to the left-hand side of the screen. So we just take the velocity, and inside of each of these if statements, we're going to stick the velocity x. So right here, we're going to put a velocity x there, put another velocity x there, and put a final velocity x down here in this last part of the program. So we're just going to go down the program as it's set up and be able to figure this out. So if the fish reaches the left edge, fish stops. So we need to first of all change, instead of sprite.velocityx, we're going to put fish.velocityx. Now, in order for it to stop, it's not going to move at all. So its velocity is going to be 0. And so that's all we need to set here, is we just need to say velocity x equals 0. It's not going to move. It's not going anywhere. We're gonna stop it. So now, and we can't really test that because it's not moving yet. So we have to be able to code all of these, and then we're going to test them out and see if it actually does what we want it to. So if the user presses the right arrow, the fish swims to the right. So first of all, we're going to change the sprite.velocityx to be fish.velocityx. And then if we want the fish to move to the right, we're going from, once again, 0 here to 400 this way. So it's going to be a positive velocity. So we're going to make it, let's say, 3 will be our velocity. So we can test this now to make sure it's going to move. We push the right arrow key, and it's going to move. But we haven't set up a way for it to actually go to the right, and so nothing really happens here. In fact, I crashed my program because I still have this inside. I still have this inside of here where it says sprite.velocityx. So I need to fix that. So then, if the fish reaches the right edge, so it gets to 400 here, we're going to have it move to the left. So we need to change this to be fish.velocityx. And if we want to reverse the speed, have it go in the other direction, then we need to change it to be negative. In this case, we were going positive as we were going to the right, and now to go to the left, we need to change it to be negative. So we're going to put a -3 here. And so now, when I hit run, I'm going to push the right arrow key. It's going to go and then switch direction, and it's going to keep going until it gets to that other side, and it's going to stop because I set the speed at 0. Now if I want it to move again, I just hit the right arrow key, and it's going to go to the edge, and then turn around and come back, and keep going until it hits there, and it's going to stop and turn and face the right direction. So that's how we can set up those multiple conditional statements to be able to move in 3 different ways. And in this case, we only use one arrow key that we pressed in order to have all of those things happen. So then we can finish the level and continue on to the next challenge.